House Democrats, under the leadership of John Larson, are making it clear that their mission is to preserve and strengthen Social Security for the American people while keeping alive the promise first delivered by Franklin D. Roosevelt. I am going to share a complete video clip with you in which Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, joined by several other Democrats, declared, "We stand with John Larson, and the moment has arrived to enhance Social Security for millions of recipients."
We as House Democrats, led by John Larson, are determined to protect and strengthen Social Security for the American people. Keeping FDR's
You'll see this entire video clip in just a moment, so stay with me until the end. At the same time, we're also seeing Social Security's 2025 changes praised by Trump administration. But that's not all. The big question many people are asking is how much Social Security payments could rise in 2026. Before I begin, I kindly ask a small favor. Please take 2 seconds to hit the like button on this video. With that out of the way, let's begin. To start, let's talk about the increase in benefits that impacts millions of people receiving Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. The focus here is on COLA, or Cost of Living Adjustment, because brand new figures have been released that will decide the level of next year's COLA increase. Look at this. With the COLA announcement around the corner, seniors across America are holding their breath, TSCL Executive Director Shannon Benton said. Why? Because the new numbers are actually higher than what most analysts and experts had originally projected. This is a critical update, so make sure you don't miss any part of it. But first, watch this important video clip in which Hakeem Jeffries and other Democrats make a clear statement.
Leadership is not attacking Social Security. We as House Democrats, led by John Larson, are determined to protect and strengthen Social Security for the American people. Keeping FDR's promise of conquering that frontier of financial insecurity. That's what we should be doing here in the United States Congress, not attacking the social safety net, Mr. Speaker. Many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they constantly call things like Social Security and Medicare entitlement programs. I think they label Social Security and Medicare entitlement programs, and by the way, as a result of this one big ugly bill, Medicare will be cut potentially by more than $500 billion.
Enough is enough. We support John Larson's effort to improve and protect Social Security for millions of Americans. Jeffries went on to emphasize that real leadership does not mean attacking Social Security. He said, "We as House Democrats, guided by John Larson, are committed to protecting and strengthening Social Security for the people of this country, continuing FDR's vision of conquering the fear of financial insecurity. That is what we should be working on here in Congress, not trying to dismantle the safety net." He criticized lawmakers on the other side of the aisle who, as he described, repeatedly label Social Security and Medicare as entitlement programs. In his remarks, Jeffries pointed out that under a recent major bill, which he personally referred to as a big ugly bill, Medicare could potentially face cuts of more than $500 billion. That's $500 billion in reductions, a change that would be devastating to seniors and disabled Americans who count on Medicare and Social Security as lifelines. This clip from Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries underscores the urgency of doing something meaningful for millions of Social Security beneficiaries. According to him, members of the Republican Party are seeking to privatize Social Security and to cut both Social Security and Medicare. He highlighted that under this big ugly bill, programs could face more than $500 billion in cuts, which would effectively strip these benefits away from millions of seniors. One point that cannot be ignored is the role John Larson has played in this fight. For years, he has been advocating reforms and has introduced the Social Security 2100 Act, a proposal designed to deliver across-the-board increases in benefits for all Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients. This is not the only proposal in play. Senator Bernie Sanders has also introduced legislation that would create a fixed yearly boost of $2,400, which works out to an additional $200 every single month for recipients. If you agree with that idea, let us know by commenting below with the words, "I support Social Security increase." Now let's move on to the crucial question of how COLA itself is determined, because many people don't fully understand it. Every year, the cost of living adjustment is calculated using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, also known as CPI-W. However, many lawmakers, experts, and analysts believe CPI-W is outdated and inaccurate. They argue that it should be replaced with CPI-E, a formula that would reflect the actual costs seniors face in today's economy. Let's break that down. CPI-W looks mainly at inflation data connected to working households and industries tied to Wall Street. That's why when increases are applied, they often fall short of what seniors truly need. For example, this year, millions of recipients received only a 2.5% increase, which barely covered expenses and, for many, felt meaningless. The reason? Rising Medicare. Part B premiums ate up almost the entire raise. But if policymakers were to adopt CPI-E, the outcome would be very different. Analysts estimate it would produce an additional $300 to $500 per month for seniors on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Veterans Affairs benefits, and railroad retirement benefits. Watch now how this one change could transform the financial security of older Americans. The need for change is undeniable. For more than 75 years, Social Security's COLA formula has gone largely untouched, while the cost of living has dramatically shifted. Updating the metric is long overdue. Now, let's look at the most recent projections for the 2026 COLA. According to the July update released on Tuesday, advocacy groups are forecasting only a 2.7% benefit increase, just 2.7%. To put that into perspective, in 2025, recipients received a 2.5% increase, so the new raise would only be slightly higher than last year's, hardly enough to make a difference. Many experts argue that such a small increase is simply not justified. Even if the COLA were to come in at 2.7%, 3.7%, or even 5%, it would still lag behind real inflation. Consider this. A recent Gallup report showed that grocery prices alone have risen 21% over the past 3 years. Compare that to the projected COLA raise of just 2.7%. The gap is obvious and frustrating. This is why so many are calling for the outdated CPI-W to be replaced with CPI-E, which would focus on the real spending patterns of seniors, such as rent, mortgages, food, and prescription drugs. So, situation carefully. The debate isn't only about numbers, it's about fairness, dignity, and whether our seniors can live with security instead of financial anxiety. Do we continue to accept the old CPI-W model, or do we finally adopt CPI-E, which recognizes the true needs of older Americans? I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you prefer to keep the existing COLA metric based on CPI-W? Or do you believe it's time to shift to CPI-E, so benefits are calculated according to real expenses? And if you have any questions about Social Security, COLA, or the proposals being discussed, leave them in the comments as well. I make sure to read and respond to as many as possible. Many subscribers have told us they're not getting notifications when we post new updates. If that's happening to you, here's what to do. Click on the subscribe button, then hit the bell icon, and from the drop-down menu, choose All. That way, you'll get every notification as soon as we release a new video.